Welcome to Lizards of the Toast. This video is sponsored by Nuka-Cola, the cola that lets you know when you've had enough. So, we are talking about our LILY Bowen Commander. Remember when we did that fun secret layer of LILY Bowen? Well, we are going to show you guys the ins and outs of the fully optimized LILY Bowen. And when I say fully optimized, this is LILY Bowen. So, fully optimized, it's still a pretty cheap deck in the scheme of Commander. There's no big... I don't think there's any cards in here over like $50. Maybe over 30. But let's get right into our creature base, and we're going to talk about the little sections that we have here of creatures. So let's get in there, friends. Let's get in close. Let's get in close. So we have LILY Bowen herself. She's vigilant. She's a 0/0, kind of weird. LILY Bowen Raging Grandma enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on her. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of 1/1 counters on LILY Bowen if her power is 16 or less. Otherwise, remove all but one +1/+1 counter from her, then you gain 1 life for each 1/1 counter removed this way. So, kind of strange. Seems more like a 99 card. But LILY Bowen is a time bomb, and that's kind of what this deck is. It's a ticking time bomb. So let's get into LILY Bowen's friends here. We'll put Lily up here. Lily, you go over there. Okay, so we have Dryad Arbor. This is the ramp. So mana production, ramp. We have Dryad Arbor, of course. We have the Findhorn Elves. We have the Llanoware Elves. And we're going to skip through quickly, friends, the ones we understand and know. We have the Fanatic of Hronis, because Lily herself is going to be an engine for this. You have tap, add a green, but Ferocious, add 4 green, activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, and we will. Plus Eternalize, we can exile this card from the graveyard and create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie snake druid with no mana cost. So we can Eternalize as a sorcery. All right. And here's one of my favorites. This is the Elvish Spirit Guide. Now, this is kind of strange. Just to hold up the show, I have, if you go and look at the previous video of the Secret Layer LILY Bowen, you'll see that she has a bunch of flavorful cards. And that's not this deck. This deck is optimized to win. So, that being said, we will show the flavorful cards that have been removed at the end of the video. So you guys can have a flavor deck if you want as well. And there may even be more. So, we have Elvish Spirit Guide. I love this card. You can use it anytime to add 1 green, and that is detrimental to Lily, simply because Lily is a target. So you always have to have things to be like, oh, don't hurt Lily. Get away from Lily. Stop bugging Lily. Bighorner Rancher. Now, this is one of our flavor pieces that stays in the deck. The Rancher is vigilant. He's a 2/5. You can tap and add amount of mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. That's going to be huge. Kind of Selvala-esque. Sacrifice Bighorner Rancher. You gain life equal to the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. That's important because Lily's life thing I found in my Secret Layer precon I put together. I found that Lily's life gain thing was going unnoticed a lot of times. Like, yeah, you'd gain the life. That was good. And sometimes it'd be like 48 life. But there needed to be more payoff for that. So this is one of those where you gain that life equal to the greatest power. But where's that going to go? We'll talk about that shortly. So as we're getting out of our ramping creatures, we are going to move over into a section of our +1/+1 creatures, our backups for Lily. Lily's backups. So who's going to be putting counters on Lily? Who's going to be protecting Lily? Cathedral Acolyte, another flavor card, as you see. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has ward, or with a counter on it has ward 1. So you can tap it, put a 1/1 counter on target creature that entered the battlefield this turn. Now, I like this card better than other cards that are similar, not only because it's a Fallout card, but simply I do like this Ward 1 thing. So, as we go on. We have Hydra Trainer. This is a Modern Horizons 3 offering. You can exert the Hydra Trainer as it attacks. When you do, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of counters on permanents you control. So that's a death swing for an unblockable or trample Lily. We have the Duskshell Crawler. Enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and every creature we control, the 1/1 counter on it has trample. So that's pretty good, friends and cosmonauts. We have the Pride Milk, and this is Grandma's cat. See, I like to think of LILY Bowen's deck here as like a retirement community. So there's a cat, the bugs are awful under the lights at night. See those street lights? So LILY Bowen just kind of needs a golf cart. So when Pride Milk enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Each creature you control, the 1/1 counter on it has trample. It's kind of like a little bit more expensive and cuter version of the Duskshell Crawler. So let's talk about Evolution Sage. This is a great card in almost any deck running green, right? Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. You guys know what proliferate means. We don't need to get into that. But if, you know what, we may. You never know. Choose any number of permanents and or players, then give each another counter of each kind already there. A settlement is in distress. Saddle that tumblewag. So, what is this? It's 2/2. It's a 2 and a green, and you get a lot of stuff here. You get a book. So, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Whenever Ornery Tumblewag attacks, while saddled, double the number of 1/1 counters on target creature. Saddle cost is 2. So, tap any number of target creatures with total power 2 or more. Very easy. And just a beautiful thing to really hit Lily with that big old boom. Give her the boom sauce. So here we have another enabler of Lily. This creature enters with X 1/1 counters on it. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on another creature you control, that many +1/1 counters are put on it instead. So you can remove a counter from this creature and put a 1/1 counter on another target creature, which is going to synergize with our counter enchantments. So sometimes that can be like 3 or 4 counters. We have Saz Katzroy, and this can be a junior commander in a deck like this. This can be another commander if you kind of pull away from that life gain stuff. And you can actually go and pull about 5 cards out. Keep Lily, but pull about 5 cards out with the life gain synergy. And this is a fine commander, especially if you have some weird birds in there. Search your library for a bird or basic land. That's still good in the mono green. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. When Saz Katzroy attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. All right. So I think we have one more. Yeah, one more counter creator. So whenever a player casts a spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on this creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may move any number of 1/1 counters from this creature onto other creatures. So that's really good. And just 4 players around the table, bing, bing, bing. That's a good thing. So we have this Landfall Insect Druid here from the Spaceman set. Whenever a land you control enters, double the power of target creature you control until end of turn. That's pretty good because that's not going to add counters on Lily. So like, say like Lily's like 15/15 or something. Or yeah, she'd be a 15/15. So Lily's a 15/15. The land enters and she becomes a 30/30, but until end of turn. So that's a pretty sweet thing because then she can go around for another ride and we won't have to gain the life necessarily unless we want to. We might want to. But that warp cost, not bad. This is like a pennies card, so it's a bulk rare, but it's really good in the deck. We have Clamavis. You see this? Look at these. Look at this gang of thieves we have here, friends. Look at this. These are all counter enablers for Lily. See? All for Lily. It's all about Lily here. I think she's the only one at the retirement community. Well, she acts like it. Now here's Property Manager Clamavis here. Proclamator Hailer. But I mean Property Manager is what I meant to say. Each creature you control gets +1/+1 for each 1/1 counter on it. That's an interesting thing. So, this one is going to make Grandma Lily blow up quick. She's going to get all bloated and sassy with this guy. So, this is obviously just great for this deck. This would be great also with our junior commander, Saz Katzroy. Look how these two could go together. And just think, if this guy was legendary, oh, he'd be better than, I think, Lily and Saz together. All right. We have a quilled great worm. See how I did that with the U? Uber, like worm. All right, trample. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage during your turn, put that many 1/1 counters on it. So this is going to be good after Lily has done her life gain thing. She's gotten small again. Maybe she's like a 4/4 when she attacks. So with some of our counter doublers and counter enable things that enable us to add more than one counter, this is going to be just fine. And one of the little pricier cards in the deck, but Iridescent Hornbeetle is really great. So this is going to be a counter payoff. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each 1/1 counter you put on creatures under your control this turn. So say we double Lily's counters. Let's say she was like a 14/14. So there's 14. And then let's say we have one of our put double counters on something, and we maybe do that 3 times. Imagine the insect army. Just think of it. All right, and that is... Okay, that is kind of a counter thing, but that's more of a token generator. So, just to review, let's see how many things actually are just synergistic with counters. And this is important. We have 12. 12 of those. All right. So, the small pile here now, see? Pretty much it's all about Lily and the counters. So, we went over the Hornbeetle. We have Blossoming Bog Beast. When the Bog Beast attacks, you gain 2 life. Then creatures you control gain trample and get +X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. So, we can actually, let's say like it's a dead turn. Let's say Lily's really big. And we're like, man, if only we could swing in with Lily. Well, we have a Blossoming Bog Beast on the battlefield. So before that turn comes around, you'd plan. You'd say to yourself, look it. Lily's going to become a 1/1 or like a 3, depending on what she is. She's probably going to have a bunch of boots and accoutrements to make her a little bigger anyways. So she's generally at this part in the game not going to be a 1/1 when she comes back. However, we're going to gain a ton of life. And those counters, I mean, it's going to be huge. So this could be potentially a game-ending threat. We have Ageless Entity. It's another, let's call it Blossoming Bog Beast Jr. on a stick. Whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on Ageless Entity. So Ageless Entity gets big quick. We have Hierophant Biotitan Frenzied Metabolism. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may remove any number of 1/1 counters from among creatures you control. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each counter removed this way. Has Vigilance, Reach, and Ward 2. In Titanic, Hierophant Biotitan can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Pretty dang good. Now, why would we want to remove counters? Think about it. Let's say we attacked with a double striking Lily and took out an opponent, and we're like, dang it, man, Lily's so big. I wish we could attack again because she has trample. Maybe she can't be blocked. So we want to take some counters off of her. This is going to allow us to do that. So we can swing in again without gaining the life. So it gives us choices in a otherwise very linear deck. And those choices are really good. So this is a unique card, as you see. These two are unique. These are life gain cards. So there is our creatures. And I hope you guys find that interesting. Now, let's get into the other part of the deck, which is instants and sorceries. My favorite part of any deck, to be honest. All right. We have Worldly Tutor so that we can get useful creatures as we may need them. Because we might need one of those little toolbox creatures we just went through. Kodama's Reach. Now we're going to go through our ramps. So search your library for up to 2 basic land cards so we know what it does. We have Cultivate. Oh, excuse me. Let me get my drinky poo. No relation. This is not Nuka-Cola. Ah, very tasty. Drinky poo in my life, I love you. All right. Sorry, I'm back. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Sound familiar? All right. We have pick your poison now. This is going to be some removal. Honestly, I'm thinking about putting some more of like those Cultivate Kodama's Reach cards in here. But we have some removal here. Pick your poison. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact, each opponent sacrifices an enchantment, or each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. I love that each opponent stuff, especially in green. You have a little bit of Nature's Claim action there. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. Why would we want that? Think about it. Because we don't need anybody enchanting anything on our side of the board except us. We have Beast Within because it's green, it's removal, it creates a beast. What more can be said? Now, Road of Return, great card because Lily is going to die to removal. No matter what we do, despite our best efforts at protection, we can return a target permanent card from our graveyard to our hand, or put your commander into your hand from the command zone. It's 2 green, or it's 2 and 2 green. 2 entwine and get both those things. This is very good at removing those annoying counters that we get when our commander is put back in command zone. All right, so we have another graveyard restoration piece. It's a sorcery speed one. That kind of is a bummer, but it's got proliferate. So that's what's important to us, really. So return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. We do have a lot of permanents we'd like to return to our hand. And it doesn't matter that it's sorcery speed. We just obviously can't instantly return, a killed creature to our hand at instant speed. So I would say proliferate is the important part of that card. We have Tamiel's Safekeeping. It's 1 green. Target permanent you control gains hexproof. So hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, is important because hexproof and indestructible pretty much make a creature hexproof and indestructible, which either of those things aren't necessarily, unless you have both of those things, you are not replete from destruction. And even then, you can still take it. So put a 1/1 counter on target creature with Snakeskin Veil. It gains hexproof until end of turn, so it's going to get a counter. That's pretty good. We have a royal treatment. Look at this. Stay your blades, peasants. Leave grandma alone. Look at those cute creatures there. All right. Target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Create a royal token attached to it. And guess what? We have the token. We have one. All right. If you control another roll on it, put that one into the graveyard. Enchanted creature gets 1/1 and has ward 1. So very good, especially for grandma. So here's another great protection piece in the 1 mana. It's Tyvar's Stand. So this one has options for us, and we like options in this linear deck. Target creature you control gets +X/+X and gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So that XX, that can be pretty big because even though we don't run like a Selvala thing in it, because that's a separate thing. That's a little different than what we're doing here. We don't need that kind of big mana. We're just looking to set the timer of Lily, as it were. She's an oven timer, folks. All right, so here we have a 2 mana overprotect. Target creature you control gets +3/+3, gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible. That's just great. Now here's my favorite one of all these. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. It's 1 and a green, and look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet? All right. We have hard-hitting question. Ow. That hurt. That was too hard. That's going to bruise. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So this is Lily going, see ya. This is similar, but options. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's important. There's not many lands in here. I think we have 28 if you subtract the whatchamacutchama. The Dryad Arbor. All right. So, search library for basic land card. That's good. Target creature you control fights. Target creature you don't control. So, good removal here. Now, here's the best of these, because we're going to hopefully have trample on Lily. Target creature you control deals damage, not fights. That's better. To target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Very good. So that has won us games. Infectious Bite. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power. To target creature you don't control, each opponent gets a poison counter. That's going to work because we can actually proliferate those poison counters. So that's not the poison counter. I should say we can do that. It's an option. But really, this is an instant, and we can use it to take something out. Now, here's some more protection for Lily. We have Solidarity of Heroes. Solidarity of Heroes costs 1 more to cast, or 1 and a green more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target creatures, double the number of 1/1 counters on each of them. We have this, which is pretty much the same thing, but it has an overload instead of strive. But I think, yeah, this one's not as good. Definitely not as good as Solidarity of Heroes, but I like that friggin' artwork, right? We have Visions of Dominance. It's another counter doubler. It has flashback for 8 and 2 green. It's X less to cast this way, where X is the greatest mana value of a commander you own. So it's going to cost 2 green to flash that back. That's really good for us. We have Invigorating Surge. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. All right. And now we are getting into Lily's accoutrements. So we have the Power Fist. Flavorful and wonderful for Lily. Has Trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on it. All in all, it's 4 in the bag to get her on the battlefield and equipped. We have Bone Sabers. Equip creature attacks, put 4 1/1 counters on it. So that can usually be like 8. Equip cost is 3. A little bit more pricier. Now, Fractal Harness is interesting. When it enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put a 1/1 counter on it. X 1/1 counters on it and attach Fractal Harness to it. Whenever equipped creature deals attacks, double the number of 1/1 counters on it. And the equip cost is 2. So that is interesting because we get that fractal thing. It would almost be a little better for us if we could just put this on the battlefield and equip it. But it's still fun, still interesting, still does good things. We have a double strike enabler here. Equip creature has double strike. It's 3. Equip cost is 2. A double striking trampling Lily is a game ender. We have the Earth Crystal. Green spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If 1 or more 1/1 counters we put on a creature you control, twice that many are put on there instead. And here's more options for us. 4 and 2 green, distribute 2 1/1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures you control. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Emerald Medallion. Again, it's going to bring the cost of our green spells down. We have Basilisk Collar to equip one of our big creatures or equip Lily herself because we're going to be gaining life and we have the triggers for our life link. That life link's not just gaining life. We definitely want to have it doing other things. We have the Pip-Boy 3000. This is probably one of my favorite artifacts to come out of this set. Equip creature attacks, choose 1. Oh, choices in a linear deck are great. Draw a card, discard a card. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Untap 2 target lands. I love that because guess what? If we have protection for Lily and we can do that, then when we go around our turn and people try to take her out, we can have our protection spells and a couple extra mana to cast them with. We have Lightning Greaves. No introductions. We have the Swiftfoot Boots. You know, you would have thought with all the inventions back then, they would have come up with the rollerblade. We have the Trailblazer Boots, brought to you by Keen. Equipped creature has non-basic land walk. That's right, Granny likes to hike. She's like 340 years old, but she still gets around. Equip cost is 2, so 2 for 2. Pretty dang good. And if you look here, the boots are funny, because watch. This is 2, it's 0 to equip. This is 2, it's 1 to equip. This is 2, it's 2 to equip. And the Mithril Coat, 3 to equip and 3 to cast. And it has flash. So you put this on Lily with a hexproof. Lily is not going anywhere. Just like Champion's Helm. Equip creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's legendary. It has hexproof. Equip cost is 1. Ah, look at the payoff here. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life and the reservoir deals 50 damage to any target. Game ender. So, Lily doesn't necessarily kill everybody on one turn, but she definitely can she can kill 2 players. We can take out 2 opponents pretty readily in a go-around. So we can kill somebody with Lily, make it around, gain our life, use the Aether Flux, use one of our life gain things to create another big thing, and then unless somebody has like a wonderful board wipe, of which we have protection for, might I add. Unfortunately, some of our regeneration stuff was taken out, but we still have protection. So, Aether Flux Reservoir, super good. Rancor is great because it's a trample enabler. That's pretty much what it is. And it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield. We can return it to our hand. Wild Growth, there's some ramp and the flavor. Ah, delicious. Hardened Scales, oh, flavor. One or more +1 counters will be put on a creature you control. That many +1/1 counters are put on it instead. So that extra one can sometimes be 2, 3. Pretty dang good. It's 1 green mana. Branching Evolution, one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control. Twice that many are put on it instead. Oh man, ridiculous. Now Hydra's Growth on Lily, this is where it gets a little confusing. So enchant creature. When Hydra's Growth enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on enchanted creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. So Lily is going to double, and then this is going to double Lily's counters. Loading Zone, a new one from the space opera. If one or more counters would be put on a creature, spacecraft, or planet you control, twice that many of each of those kinds of counters are put on it instead. So if we are, say, going to do something on our upkeep, Lily, the warp cost 1, it's another way to just really, really biff something up good. And if you cast it for its regular cost and it sticks around, holy moly, is that good. Unnatural Growth is great. And some people look at this and they're like, that's a lot of mana. But guess what? At the beginning of each combat, not your combat, not the beginning of combat, at the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Again, this is going to create a wall of thorns with a moat around it. Alpha Authority, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has hexproof and can't be blocked by more than one creature. That's pretty dang good. Canopy Cover, very similar. Enchanted creature can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. We have Season of Growth. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. Similar, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. And here is our payoff for life gain. Creatures you control have reach. That's pretty good because flyers can really do bad things in casual EDH sessions. Sacrifice Assemble the Entmoot. Create 3 tapped XX green treefolk creature tokens where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Pretty dang good. So, let's talk about the mana base really quick. All right, there's some lands in here I love. I bet we can get this done by 30. That's where I wanted to be with it. So, you can add 1 colorless with Tyrite Sanctum. Target legendary creature becomes a god in addition to its other types. Put a 1/1 counter on it. Sacrifice Tyrite Sanctum. Put an indestructible counter on target god. So, 2 turns, we can do that. That's good. I like it. Scavenger Ground. Add 1. Tap. Pay 2. Tap. Sacrifice a desert. Exile all graveyards. So this is an emergency graveyard emptier. And it's pretty much like the only graveyard hate we have in here. We have Lair of the Hydra, because maybe we have some big mana to dump into something. If you control 2 or more other lands, Lair of the Hydra enters the battlefield tapped. Ugh. But you can tap it and add a green, X and a green, until end of turn it becomes an XX green Hydra creature that's still a land. So it can be big. We have Command Beacon, just that command tax is a pain in the butt with Lily. We have Command Tower. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Diamond City. Now I think this is super great. Diamond City enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. You can tap it and add colorless, or you can tap it and move the shield counter from Diamond City onto target creature. Activate only if 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So, Diamond City enters the battlefield. Be dealt damage or destroyed to this creature with the shield counter on it. you just remove the shield counter instead. That's great. So we have a Rogue's Passage. Tap it for 4. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. That's going to be Grandma. That's good. All right. Mosswort Bridge, a little bit of hideaway action. And we can do this quick, actually. You can play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater, and they will. Oran Reef the Vastwood enters the battlefield tapped. You can add a green, put a 1/1 counter on each green creature that entered the battlefield this turn. That's really good. Really, really good. I love that card. I will say that. Now, I think we have just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 basic forests. I would really like a Yavimaya Cradle in here, but it seems a little redundant. Until I have a problem where I'm mana blocked or something, I'm probably not going to put one in here. Just because it's doing work other places. It's not even that expensive of a card. I just don't necessarily like cards that fix the mana for my opponents. And that one does that. I don't like that. Oh, that's right. Before we go. For a more flavorful gameplay, you can take some things out and add these. So we have the Scrounging Deathclaw. Grandma will know these well. And for a little extra defense, this is the one that I thought was the weak link. So this one was removed, so that's a little extra defense. But for the flavor, Inspiring Call, draw a card for each creature you control, the 1/1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. It's pretty good. It was a hard pull because it's a good card. It really is. The Lumbering Mega Sloth for one less for each counter among players and permanents. Trample 8/8. Again, decent, but I don't know. Did it do much? I don't think so. The Rad Stag. Now, this one was good, but it just wasn't what we're trying to do in the deck. And that Evolve thing was really cool. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was doing its work. Unlike this card, which did do its work, but again, excuse me, just a little redundant. You know, there's something better to cast. And we're not really, because it's so linear, we're not looking to be like messing with people's enchantments and artifacts that much anyways. Now these, Loyal Guardian, it's too expensive. 4 and a green. Overwhelming Stampede. This is just redundant for us because we're not having like huge groups of creatures attacking. I think this would be better served in like a huge token generating deck. And that being said, with our bug, if we made a bunch of bug tokens and gave them all +X, but that's not really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to take them out with commander damage. So there is some food for thought, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for joining me, and as always, I really appreciate having the videos viewed and stuff. So you guys have a good one, and oops, who put my pencil in this? Oh.